Hello, thank you for joining us for another episode of Canada's Movie and TV Hosers. We appreciate anyone who tunes into our channel there. I'm Gregory Barrett, and this is my co-host, Christine.
Hi.
And Christine, who's the star of our show?
Oh, our little kitty here, Fluffy.
Yeah, Fluffy Kitty. There, she seems to be enjoying herself there right now. So, this show's not about cats, it's about all things pop culture that we love to talk about. New and old movies, trailers, TV shows, streaming, and books. Breaking down today's episode, got a little bit of news. Then we're going to go right into trailers. We got 3 trailers we're going to review for Challengers. Then we got Five Nights at Freddy's that came out this week. And just came out just the other day, Dune Part 2. New trailer. Then we're going to go into our reviews. Going to be reviewing Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. Secret Invasion, the first 2 episodes from the new Marvel Studios Disney Plus show. Jack Ryan, Season 4, first 2 episodes. I'm doing my full review for Clone High, this new 2nd season, as I'm calling it. Then I'm going to be reviewing Star Wars. The next book that I read was Aftermath Life Debt. This is the 2nd part of that trilogy. We finally got another review for The Big Bang Theory. So we're going through season 6 this time, and we finally settled on a name. It's called Big Bangin' Reviews. Because why not?
Come up with these things.
Then for our next part of Into the DCEU, we're reviewing James Gunn's The Suicide Squad from 2021, and we'll probably have time for a little bit of Chakotay's Odyssey in between there. First up, got a little bit of news about The Boys. You know, we're waiting on season 4.
Yeah.
They just finally announced that The Boys season 4 has been delayed. So we're going to be waiting a bit longer. So they don't have a release date, and that's because of the writer strike, the WGA strike, which...
Listen, we want them to take their time on it and get the right writing.
Yeah, we want it to be good, and I want the producers to just pay the writers and all the staff, all the crew, what they're owed, right?
Anyway, we just wanted to come out and be good. I don't want it to come out and be bad, so...
It wasn't that long ago that we got The Boys season 3.
I think because when the pandemic hit, everything was so delayed, and now we're not used to things coming out on schedule again. For example, like today, Jack Ryan, season 4 just dropped today, the first 2 episodes. So I just watched that, but it just seemed like I was just watching Jack Ryan season 3. But anyway, we're just not used to things coming out on time anymore.
Season 3 came out in 2022. I feel it was in the March or April.
It does seem like a while ago since we watched it.
June.
Longer than it was. Oh, was it?
It was over a year ago now. So, yeah, they were hoping, I believe, to have an announcement for the release of it before the end of the summer. But now, because of the writer's strike is still going on,
we can hold off.
We'll have to wait longer then.
Oh,
well, we got tons of other things to review all the time.
Yep.
So that's a little bit of news. If you have any thoughts on that, or you're watching The Boys or not, let us know down in the comments below. Let's go right into our trailers. Challengers. This trailer came out, I think, a week ago. We didn't get it for our last weekend's episode. This is from Pascal Pictures. So that's Amy Pascal's own studio there. And it's being distributed by MGM. Coming out in September of this year. September 15th. What did you think of this trailer? Does this look like something that would interest you?
I don't know. It's a people story, obviously.
Yeah, it's a character story.
2 guys and a girl and things that go on.
And tennis.
Yeah, the tennis part about it turned me off.
Yeah, I didn't care for the tennis stuff. Also, this doesn't look like it's for me. Also, they told you the whole story in the trailer.
Too much.
Way too much in this trailer.
It's way too much. Yeah, I'm turned off about the tennis bit because it's very elitist for the most part. So that kind of turned
But
me off.
in the
about it.
trailer, they show it's this
Yeah.
love triangle
Maybe
between her and these two white
Let's not
guys.
spoil it for everyone else. Listen.
And then it cuts years later.
Yeah, watch the first
I'm
10
like-
seconds of this trailer as well. We won't spoil the rest for you because it was just spoiled for us.
I would say don't watch this trailer.
Again, these trailers that are showing everything in the movie. I don't want to even watch trailers anymore because they're like ruining it for me. I really find that they're like taking away from the movie. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm like iced tea today.
They're giving away too much in some of these trailers. Some studios are doing it badly, some are doing it okay. This movie with Zendaya doesn't look like something I was going to be interested in anyway. I'll go see it. I go see it as much as I can. But this trailer didn't win me over. This didn't look good at all, and they gave too much away for me. So yeah, I would recommend not watching this trailer.
Don't watch the trailer. Go watch the movie. Maybe not the trailer.
Maybe hopefully they'll come out with a better trailer.
Well,
that doesn't give away too much.
Gives away too much. And that leads into the next trailer.
So if anyone's looking forward to seeing Challengers, that's coming out September 15th of this year, let us know down in the comments below. They didn't win us over with it. Next trailer is Five Nights at Freddy's. This came out at the beginning of this week, I believe.
Yeah, another trailer that has too much in it. My opinion, way too much in it.
How so?
Well, we see characters and then we see them getting attacked. We see characters in comas. So we know like a lot already going in. It's driving me crazy, these trailers.
We already knew that Five Nights at Freddy's is supposed to be a scary movie, and it's from Blumhouse.
I know, but this is showing too much.
Like, Blumhouse doesn't make comedies.
No, but the trailer is just showing too much of the story. Too much. They should have just ended it halfway and not basically showed the movie in a trailer. I'm just getting tired of it.
I don't think that this trailer gave away too much. I didn't feel it at all. Now, I think this trailer, it's making it look like this is going to be really creepy. And it's based off of this game property. I'm not familiar with that myself. But I know a lot of people do enjoy it. So, security guard, he gets this job at this place and it's haunted, essentially. And he brings his kid there because he doesn't have anywhere else to take her for the night. So she sleeps there.
I don't know. It's too much in the trailer. Anyway.
So they're trying to make you care about these characters.
Maybe, but
they're going to make you try and feel for these characters so that when bad things start happening, that you actually care whether these characters survive or not.
Anyway, I thought it showed too much in the end of the trailer. Anyway, personally, I think it was too much.
This doesn't look like it's something for me. However, it says right in from the producer of Megan, who's Jason Blum. It's his studio, Blumhouse.
I mean, it's for teenagers.
Yeah.
They like the Five Nights at Freddy's. It was like illegal contraband when they were in elementary school. So they're probably going to go see it.
This trailer didn't make me excited for it. However, I'm going to go check it out because maybe it's a really good scary movie. I don't know. I'm not going to judge it before I see it. Same with this Challengers thing. I'm going to go see both movies and hopefully it's really good. It's just this trailer didn't get me excited for this at all. Now, did anyone else out there have a different reaction from us? Maybe we're just being too negative. But if this is your thing and you're really excited about it, let us know down in the comments below. We want to hear from it. Maybe you're seeing something we're not. Let us know what that is from those trailers. Next, we got Dune Part 2 coming out November 3rd of this year.
Yeah.
When did the first one come out? 2020?
I don't know.
Or was it 2021? It's been a few years, but that's because they didn't shoot them back to back. They didn't greenlight both parts. So, what did you think of this trailer?
I thought it had a lot in it too, but I'm still looking forward to seeing the movie. But I thought it had too much in it as well.
How so?
I don't know. There's just a whole lot in it. I want to go to the movie and see the movie, not watch it all in the trailer.
It was kind of a long trailer.
It was. It was too much.
3 minutes.
It didn't really give me the story, but it gave me information that I would have liked to not know. Like, I don't know. I just find what's going on with trailers these days. It's irritating to me. I don't think I want to watch them anymore.
The first one was from 2021. So it's 2 years later. So they put a rush on this. Hopefully the effects aren't really bad. because if they're rushing
There
this.
wasn't a lot. I mean, it was the desert was the big thing in the
Now,
last one.
I have not been looking forward to this movie because I know it's going to be insanely long.
I'm looking
and
forward
it's going to be another slow burn.
I like it.
But this trailer actually got me more excited to see this.
I just feel don't put so much in the bloody trailer. Anyway, but
Yeah.
I'm looking for it. I'm going to see it, no problem.
You got Paul Atreides back with Zendaya because she's in everything nowadays. She's also on some show on HBO. I don't know. Anyway, she's doing great. What else we got going on here? We see
His mother.
Josh Brolin is back.
Josh Brolin.
Rebecca Ferguson is back. His mother's there. Javier Bardem is back.
Yeah, he's back.
The Harkonnen, Dave
And we
Bautista,
see
he's back, and now he's got another guy.
Walken is in there.
Christopher Walken is the Emperor.
Crazy, but looking more normal than most people.
So
in
we
this
get
universe.
our first couple of looks at Christopher Walken as the
He
Emperor.
looks pretty normal.
He
That's what I
was
found.
kind of being a real SOB in the trailer
No,
there.
but he looked kind of normal. Most everyone in this world doesn't look normal. I thought he could just be like walking down the street in New York City and how he looked. Anyway, I thought that was kind of funny because most of these people look very strange. But he
Okay.
looked relatively normal for himself, even.
People are excited to see Christopher Walken as the Emperor.
Sure.
You know, Florence Pugh is in it, I think, as a princess.
Still don't know who Florence Pugh is, but anyway.
Austin Butler shows up as
and
another Harkonnen.
I would not even know it was him.
Okay.
Hard to tell.
Yeah, because he's bald.
No eyebrows or anything. Anyway, I'm going to see it. I'm going to first see the other one, watch it again. It's probably the day before.
I'm not
and then
watching
I'm
that.
gonna go see. I'm excited.
I'm not watching that movie again.
I really liked it.
Unless I have to for content, but I'm not watching it again because it wasn't for me.
I'm gonna watch it.
I hope that this one actually has a lot of action in it because the trailer makes it look like it's
Definitely does.
like there's a
The
lot
last
going
one had
on.
action,
but
it
if
had
it's
Jason
more of
Momoa.
this slow pace, looking at the desert for half an hour and then
It had battles in the last one.
oh we're caring for these trees that we're just gonna burn down in 20 minutes. God, I don't need
like
to hear the
this-
story about the trees.
I like the sci-fi aspects of it.
Man.
Wasn't there a bunch of fighting and Jason Momoa was fighting and
We
stuff?
didn't see Jason Momoa in this
I
trailer.
think he got killed, did he not?
I don't
Fighting the
remember.
Last time, I think so.
I don't remember.
I don't know. Sorry if that's a spoiler.
I don't know.
I have to watch it again because I don't remember. I just really liked it.
I
and
feel
I
as if
I went into the experience. I just absorbed it, and you were like, "When is this gonna be over?"
I feel as if I'm still having to watch it.
I liked it.
Ooh.
Anyway, that's our thoughts on it.
Hopefully this one is good, and I'm looking forward to it.
Would you like to watch it
'Cause
with me?
I want every
Yes.
movie to be good.
Fluffy will watch it with me.
Let us know what your thoughts are on the new trailer for Dune Part 2 coming out November 3rd of this year. Could be a good one. First one made a lot of money. This one's probably going to make even more. Going into our reviews, yesterday, I didn't do an out-of-theater reaction for it, but I went to go see Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny.
Yep.
And I've been thinking about what I want to say about it.
I haven't seen it.
Okay, so this will be a spoiler-free review. I had a fun time with this. Is it my favorite Indiana Jones right now? No. I don't know whether people are going to like this or if it's just going to be, it was fun. If it's more of the same. There's some good scenes in it. It gets a bit wacky near the end.
Oh.
I'm like, okay, they all kind of get wacky
That
near the
Crystal
end.
Skull one went right off the rails.
With the UFO,
Yeah.
the
Didn't like
saucer
that.
people there.
Yeah.
But you were okay with at the end of the first one, the divine power coming out of the ark there,
Well,
shooting lightning out all the
It
Nazis.
seemed to make more sense in the context of the film. This weird elongated skulls and all that. It
Anyway.
was just, I don't know, it was a big stretch for that one.
If you thought UFOs and saucer people in the last one was wacky, you might not care for the end of this one because I found it more comic book wacky.
Oh.
But I had a fun time. There's a great Morocco chase scene that we see in the trailers there, where they're on the rickshaws.
Yeah.
That goes for quite a bit, but they do break it up. It's quite fun. I had a really good time with that one there. There's a little bit of underwater stuff, which I enjoyed.
Everyone's going underwater these days.
Yeah. There's a whole cave sequence it's alright.
Is there many snakes?
I'm not gonna ruin that. I'm not gonna spoil that. Okay?
You don't like snakes. When I said snakes, she like stared at
There's,
me.
you gotta see the movie for that. You know, Indiana Jones is back in the first, I think, 20 minutes or so is all in the past.
Right.
So it's the de-aging.
Yeah. Was that Uncanny Valley? Did you take it? Did you?
A little bit Uncanny Valley at times, but mostly it was pretty good. Oh. He doesn't say very much. And they try to have his lips not on camera when he's saying stuff, helps. But there are times when he's saying stuff and looks a little bit uncanny valley.
Yeah.
And you know, they might have been a lot of delays with making this, and they ran out of time. Who knows?
I'd like to see it as soon as I can. I've just been working. You've been on vacation.
Overall, I had a fun experience.
Yeah.
I took our daughter to go see it.
I don't know if she liked it or not. She was confused.
She kind of had no reaction.
She was confused if she liked it or not. So I don't know.
She came out of it just meh.
I don't know. I don't know. She didn't say.
She said she liked it.
Okay.
I enjoyed this, and it's kind of, to me, this is the best that we could have gotten at this time.
Okay.
Harrison Ford is 80 years old, okay?
Well, this doesn't mean anything.
There are times during that first 20 minutes where he's running in that, and I'm like, he ain't running like a guy in his 30s.
Listen,
he's running like a guy in his late 70s who's really going at it and is really healthy.
He's like the same age as my dad. My dad could run if he had to.
Yeah.
My mom, not so much.
What I'm saying is, when you get a guy in his late 70s trying to make a movie like this, you can only get him to do so much, right?
Right. As long as he's running faster than the person that's chasing him, that's all that matters.
So, Toby Jones shows up in this because he's in everything.
He is in everything. He's like, we need someone to act in a movie. Let's call Toby
I'm going to look him up on IMDb.
He is in everything these days.
Yeah, he is.
And he often has a small role. He often doesn't have a big role, but it's often a role that's kind of important, but it's small.
So I just saw Toby Jones at the end of last year in Empire of Light, which was one of those awards movies. And let me tell you, don't waste your time with it.
Good acting.
Okay? He's in The Hunger Games, apparently. I had no idea. I don't remember much of that movie.
Almost.
He's in the MCU because he was in all of those he's in the first two Captain America movies.
Yeah. Because sometimes he's in costume. I didn't even know it was him.
He was in that Tetris movie that we never got to see. Didn't hear anything good about it, though. We just saw him in The Pale Blue Eye with
I think
Christian
he has
Bale.
fun doing these kind of interesting roles. He usually has an interesting role.
He came back for the Marvel's What If animated series to do the voice of Zola. Of course he would do that. He shows up for a day and get paid a whole bunch of money.
Like I said, it's usually not very long that he's in something. He's usually not like the main character, but he always seems to carve out a good role, though.
He was in Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom.
Why not?
So that was the second one of that Jurassic World trilogy.
Right.
Which I didn't really care for it myself. Anyway, point is, Toby Jones shows up in Indy 5, and he's just another supporting character, and there's tons of people that show up in these small supporting roles just so they can be in it. I mean, it's on the cast list that, what's his name? Puss in Boots, Antonio Banderas. He shows up in just a small role as one of Indy's old friends, you know?
That's fun.
We know Sala's in it from the trailer. Yeah. He shows up for a little bit.
Well, he was an important character in the other one, the old one. Okay. What one is he in?
I'm not going to spoil it, but we find out what happened to Mutt. Okay? In case you were, like, you know, if you love Crystal Skull that much and you really love the character of Henry Jones III, a.k.a. Mutt.
Okay.
We find out more about that character, and there's actually a story about Indy and his family.
Yeah, that's what
it's a secondary story. It's a very small part of the story, but it's really well done.
Oh, that's good.
Okay.
Anyway, it
I really
like
enjoyed that. So
I'm looking forward
this was
to
a fun time. I don't know if kids are going to go see this. It's not projected to have a big box office opening.
Well, our kid didn't like it.
I think that could be because, well, they don't have the nostalgia for this.
Well, you did show her all the movies.
I did, but that was just recently.
I remember talking to one of her friends. He never saw it. He hasn't seen any of those movies.
But also,
before.
She didn't grow up watching them like we did. I grew up watching them as a little kid.
Well,
I shouldn't have.
I didn't see them till I was older. I saw one of them maybe when I was younger, but we didn't go.
When you say older, how old were you when you saw the first
Probably
Indiana Jones movie?
Teenager.
Yeah, so that would be good.
Maybe.
I saw them before I was a teenager, which probably was a mistake on my part, but
yeah, because we didn't go to the movies when I was
anyway.
Very rarely.
But we grew up watching them all these years.
Yeah.
She only recently saw them, so then if she doesn't have the nostalgia for it, all these years of being able to enjoy them over and over again.
She's also 15 now, and she does it. That's her whole thing. It's not giving a damn much about things. So
well, that's every 15-year-old. But if you saw these movies first time when you were 15, you would care about them a lot more as you grow up.
Right.
Okay? But if you just saw them recently, it's like, okay, some of them were good and then some of them weren't so good. So
right.
It's I had a fun time with it. Maybe a lot of that is nostalgia. It's not my favorite, but I had a really good time. So I give this a best movie ever. There's a bunch of people that show up in it. Phoebe Waller-Bridge's character is, she's pretty good. She was fun. I know people were already complaining, like toxic fans online were complaining about her character.
Oh, isn't she supposed to be Marion's kid or something?
No. In the trailer they say that she is his goddaughter.
Oh, not Marion's kid.
No.
Oh, for some reason I thought she was Marion's kid.
Marion had Mutt.
Oh, that was my. I don't remember that. The crystal skull thing.
You got to rewatch these movies.
I don't want to because that one has a sour taste in my mouth. That crystal skull thing.
Yeah, a lot of people don't like it.
Anyway.
I personally don't mind it.
I'm still looking forward to it. I'll be wary of the ending. Maybe I'll just close my eyes and plug my ears at the ending.
I recommend go checking this out. If you're a fan of this franchise, go check it out on big screen. It's playing in IMAX, so if you really love this franchise. And that's another thing, because when I was there, it's mostly an older audience. I'd say when Crystal Skull came out, that was really the best time to come out with another Indiana Jones movie, because now it's been, when did Crystal Skull come out? 2008?
I don't know.
So
a long time ago.
That means that's been 15 years. So that's a whole other generation now that hasn't been exposed to that stuff.
I think people know who Indiana Jones is.
Not everyone.
Well, it's pretty. I mean, I went into the card shop there, and there was Indiana Jones memorabilia.
It makes me wonder if this franchise is gonna die out with this generation, or if they're gonna try and reboot it to get younger fans back. They'll just cast a younger Indiana Jones for more adventures.
I think they need to maybe get a woman in there. Go to Egypt. That would be interesting. That's what I would do. Go back to Egypt.
But how would you do that as Indiana Jones?
You think of archaeology today. Mm-hmm. What is the most interesting archaeology happening? Still happening there. They're like doing all those like neutrinos or whatever at the pyramids and finding these holes in these like vaults and stuff with new imagery and stuff. That's the most interesting archaeology. Anyway. Okay.
But these movies are about, in the past, right? So this one's in
but you could do it from the present.
This one's in the late 60s. It's in 69, I gathered.
Oh, you could still do it.
And they do a good job of recreating that time period. So yeah, I look forward to going seeing this again. I'll take you to go see it.
I'm going to go see it. I just have to stop working.
Yeah. I recommend go checking it out. As I said, I give it a best movie ever.
Okay.
For Indy 5 there. Next we got... Oh, we forgot about this last week. Secret Invasion. Yeah. We forgot to review the first episode, even though we had watched it.
We watched a couple now.
Yeah, so now we're 2 episodes in for Secret Invasion.
Right.
What are you thinking of this series so far?
I like it. There's high stakes in it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm enjoying it. I had a nightmare about it. I'm enjoying it.
Is it? You find it scary?
Well, it's always scary when you're a little bit of a spoiler there, like an alien race is invading.
Oh yeah,
the
this
Earth.
is on TV. We can spoil this, otherwise we'll have nothing to talk about
Anyway,
as we do this each episode.
It's about
So
those...
Nick Fury is returned to Earth,
yeah.
and Skrulls are taking over.
He was gone, but I didn't remember that.
Yeah, he was on that space station the last time we saw him.
I can't keep it all straight, but I did remember that they're a Captain Marvel villain, and that they're these green people, but they can look like anybody.
Yeah,
but
the
they
Skrulls.
tend not to look like anybody. They tend to pick one identity, it seems, and stick to that person. They don't seem to like to change identities like you would see other beings, like we've seen in other shows. They tend to stay the same, basically.
Yes. They, before we get too deep into the story,
Okay.
they got a lot of big name actors to be in this, with some ridiculous dialogue talking about new Skrullos and Skrulls, and just what is going on here.
Well,
you
I
got
don't really
Olivia
mind.
Colman, okay, playing
She's vicious.
Sonya Fallsworth. I guess she's in charge of MI6 there in Russia.
Or she's on her own kind of thing. She's out to get these guys.
She's representing the British government, okay,
I
with
guess,
MI6.
but she does seem to be rather separated from any real outreach of government. She's on her own.
They got this.
in a way.
They got this actress who wins awards. Okay, doesn't
been-
really mean anything to me, but she's really good. And they got this British woman,
She's been in Doctor Who before. She has fun doing stuff like that.
and now she's saying this ridiculous dialogue in a
I don't
Marvel
think
show. She probably thinks this is like a cartoon or something she's in.
I didn't get that at all. I enjoy it. It's an interesting story. Nick Fury and her basically are the only ones trying to save the world. No one else seems to care.
I don't know if she's really trying to save anyone.
She is. She's out on her own and with her little team, and her and Nick Fury seem to be the only people that are actually concerned about this. And that's a problem.
So
because they've infiltrated.
yeah, they've infiltrated
That's
everywhere.
why, her government doesn't really know what she's doing. Because if they did, they wouldn't
It's
put
a
a stop to
secret
it.
takeover. This is just like another show we're watching right now, which we'll
It's
talk
just
about
like
later
another
on.
one. I think that the other show did it a little differently and maybe even better
Well,
than this.
we're not going to mention that show. We're not going to. This is more of a secret espionage kind of a thriller going on. Who's one of the Skrulls? Who isn't? How far deep does this go? Can we stop them?
The only problem with that is they've already showed their cards in the show. So that's the problem. That's why we don't we
don't know
we
how
know
many
who
people
they
are
are.
Skrulls.
The British Prime Minister is one.
Yep.
We've seen these really mega right away. They've told us who they are. So maybe they could have written it better to have more suspense in that way. They didn't. They just laid it right out on the table.
Hey, do you since Don Cheadle's in this, do you think we're gonna get a Warhammer appearance?
No, he was a real asshole in it.
Sorry, War Machine.
War Machine, right? You got it.
Warhammer's a game.
I love him, Don Cheadle, but he's playing a real ass in this. I didn't really understand. He doesn't want to help.
Because he's working for the president.
I guess, but you think, I know, he's being manipulated, or is he one? I don't know. He did seem like himself, though.
Martin Freeman showed up at the beginning of the first episode. Right away, I'm like, nope, Skrull.
Yeah, me too.
Okay?
Me too.
Right away. Brian Michael Bendis is a writer on this show. He's a really good comics writer.
I don't know.
If he's involved in this,
funny, though.
It's not. I don't think it's supposed to be.
It's not funny.
You know what?
Just a little tiny bit of funny.
You got Emilia Clarke from Game of Thrones. She looks tiny in this.
She doesn't look very well.
They put her on the anorexic diet for this to make her look like a younger kid.
I find she doesn't look very well.
And
I'm kind of concerned for her well-being. Anyway.
She's saying the most ridiculous dialogue, but now she's in the MCU.
But her character is the most interesting one of this so far. Because there's at least mystery involved with her. The other people, it's very laid out.
What about Gravik, the guy she's working with?
No.
She's his follower.
Yeah, but she's not. She has different allegiances. So she's a interesting character. This is the problem. They've kind of laid everything out. Maybe a bit too soon,
I'm thinking
right?
Emilia Clarke's character will survive this series and she could go on to become a bigger villain, like fighting the Fantastic Four or something, right? Because Skrulls are usually associated with originally associated with Fantastic Four.
I just think of Captain Marvel because when we started watching that, you were like, you couldn't. I actually remembered who they were, and you didn't.
Yeah, I remember the Skrulls.
Not really. I read the comic books. That's why I knew about them, I guess.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's interesting they went with the Skrulls to put the show about.
Well, that's what the Secret Invasion storyline from the comics is about. Skrulls slowly taking over.
Does he know that his wife is a Skrull? Now that is the interesting question at the end of this episode that we watched.
Who knew that he had a wife?
Well, he doesn't want anyone to know, right? He's always top secret.
And if it's really his wife and she's a Skrull, does he know about that?
That's what I mean. She changed her appearance when he came in. I don't know. I don't know if there was things that we missed that we could have picked up on already that would say yes or no.
Do you think, what are the chances are that he's married to a Skrull and he's known all along and a human and a Skrull are in love?
Well,
and that's a genuine relationship.
The only weird thing about it is that she changed the Skrulls when they're comfortable at home, they don't change into humans. But when he came home and she heard him, she was a Skrull in 12 form. And when she heard him, she changed into a woman. So that makes me think he doesn't know. Because we've seen them. They like to remain as themselves when they're just at home.
They like to stay in human form because it makes it harder for humans to tell them that they're Skrulls.
That's in the Resistance. But anyway, I don't know. We'll have to see. I don't think I've missed anything.
I think he knows.
But there's been a lot of going back and forth about it, and we could have missed something there. I don't know. Anyway, we'll find out more as we watch. Did we miss it?
6 episodes. So we got 4 more to go.
Oh, are you a Skrull?
Are you? How do I know you're not a Skrull?
Yeah, I know.
That's our thoughts for... Oh, do I have anything else I want to say about Secret Invasion there?
Do you want to... Well, the show that Matt...
Colby Smulders.
Yeah. Oh.
Okay. Maria Hill was killed.
Very killed. Very dead.
That's odd because in some versions, Maria Hill becomes the new head of S.H.I.E.L.D.
I know.
Even though there's no S.H.I.E.L.D. anymore.
I was surprised they killed off her character. I was wondering about the timeline on that.
I wouldn't surprise me at all. Later on, they showed us the next 5 seconds where her body turns back into a Skrull.
Yeah, but Don
she was a Skrull all along.
To fight to bring her body back home. Remember? In the episode. It seems like she's really dead. And they go to her funeral.
You think Colby Smulders wanted out?
I don't know. I thought it was weird how they killed her off so soon.
She's been in
all these ones.
She's been in the MCU since when? I'm guessing the Avengers 2012?
A long time. I thought it was surprising that they killed her, and it does appear that she is dead because it wasn't like he had to leave her body and run away. No, they got her and they took her back to the States and her mother buried her and everything. So I don't know. Anyway, that's
I don't know.
It's been interesting, but I do wish they would have kept more of the secrets up front. It would have probably made for more interesting, but I am enjoying it.
People have been complaining online about the opening sequence with all the weird imagery in that.
I don't mind
because it didn't bother me at all.
It doesn't bother me.
People complain about because it's AI generated, and apparently some people are against that, but also some people just didn't like it.
I don't mind.
You know what?
I didn't think it was fantastic though. Like I like certain openings. Like for example, Discovery, the show that I do not like.
Mm-hmm.
I love the opening.
Oh yeah, with all the different tech and putting it together
and everything. I really enjoyed that opening. Yeah.
Yeah, and they got the nice music playing.
Yeah, and there's music and everything. So as far as an opening goes, I don't take it or leave it on this one.
Okay. The opening didn't bother me at all. I actually thought it was an interesting design. However, I still think that, writers, if they're the ones coming up with this stuff, then they should be paid for that, and they shouldn't have to lose their job because AI is writing stories for them now.
Oh, is that what the problem was? That people thought that people have to put it in the computer. I don't know. Anyway, it's just an opening. It wasn't as good as Peacemaker, the show we've been watching. It has the same story. I hadn't watched it before.
We'll probably talk about that on the next episode.
That has a fun opening.
Yeah, everyone loved that opening, and then they started doing their own dances of it and putting them online. So that's our thoughts on the first 2 episodes for Secret Invasion. We're going to be spoiling each episode every week, so I'll have the warning up if I can,
and
but
we'll hopefully
we'll
figure
still
out
warn people anyway.
if he knows his wife is a Skrull or not.
Let us know your theories about
Maybe
Secret
you know.
Invasion down in the comments below. We want to hear from you. Next, you want to review the first 2 episodes that came out for season 4 of Jack Ryan.
Yeah, just 2 dropped today. And so I was able to watch them before we recorded today. Now, I'm finding I'm enjoying this better. I found the first season was the best because he was being himself, and some of the other stuff, he could have been anyone almost doing this. It could have been just any action hero. But in this one, he's gone back to more of his bureaucratic, find the money, close off the money type of role. Mm-hmm. So far, anyway.
Yeah,
so it seems, and they're bringing back some characters we
so
haven't seen.
Spoilers.
I'm not going to spoil. I just say I find that this one is more true to Jack Ryan, the character so far. I've only watched the 2 episodes, but it's a very interesting story, and it's kind of all over the world, and
And Michael Peña's in it.
Yes, and it's basically continues from the last season. They had a boss, and he was causing problems, and they had to get rid of him. And so now so there was a sub boss, and now she's the boss, and now Jack Ryan has in her place. So he's moved up in the rung of things, basically. But it's the problems that old boss had caused.
Because he was a bad boss.
He was bad, and we don't really know.
Was he always taking credit for Jack Ryan's work?
No, he was doing bad things and making Jack Ryan go rogue, as we know, because he liked to go rogue.
Well, all the secret agents like going rogue now. We never get to see them go on a mission. James Bond has been rogue for the last 20 years for some reason. What's the other guy's name? Ethan Hawke, Mission Impossible guy. He's rogue. He's been rogue every movie.
Right. This one is more, they've got a problem and they're trying to solve it, and they're looking at the paperwork and more on his line of expertise a little bit. Like, because he is a financial guy. That's how he got going in this. He found the money. That's how Jack Ryan started. Okay. He was the only one that was able to find this information out, and he went with that and pushed forward and was able to stop these terrorists. That's how it started, the whole.
So what country are they focused on this season?
2 countries. They're in Burma, Myanmar.
Okay, that's a war zone.
It's not in this version of it, though.
Okay.
It's about triads.
What's the other country?
They're in Mexico. So they're dealing with cartels and triads. That's what it's about.
Because Burma and Mexico are nowhere near each other.
But they are similar in these organizations. Now, the triads, they don't know a lot about them and stuff. Of course, the cartels, we do know more about them. But in this case, it's cartels and triads. And then the CIA.
Okay, so Jack Ryan
a little bit of Nigeria, too.
Jack Ryan works for the CIA?
Yes.
Okay. So he
was their accountant. That's how he started out.
And now he's secret agent.
Well, see, that was the problem I had with a couple of the other seasons.
How did that work out?
The second one made more sense because he got interested in politics a bit, and he was with the senator, and he followed the senator, and that's how that one went. But then the other 2 seasons were like, he was like action hero man, and he could have really been replaced by any character with the gumption to go do it. Whereas this, we're seeing more Jack Ryan looking at the paperwork again, which makes more sense.
What I'm hearing from you on this is I should have gone into accounting so that then I can become an accountant and become a secret agent afterwards.
You're not 6'4" like
Apparently
Jack
you can
Ryan.
just transfer from one department to the other.
He's also, now, the thing about him that didn't make sense why he was action hero is because he's got some bad injuries. So it didn't make sense the past 2 seasons. They kind of didn't follow through with that.
If Jack Ryan can work for the CIA in the
Yeah.
accounting department and then transfer over to the secret agent part of
Well,
it.
he was the
Does that
accountant
mean-
in the secret agent.
Does
part.
that mean that like other departments can transfer into that too? Can the janitors from, environmental sanitation clean, can they just transfer to the secret
never
agent
know.
department, and next thing you know, the guy who was the janitor is now the secret agent?
There-
wanna see that
well,
show.
There is a vacancy now because like they all got promoted because the boss got kicked out, so you never know.
Because the boss was corrupt?
Yeah, we're not knowing all about the boss yet.
What happened to the boss?
He did get ousted.
Why?
I'm not getting into it. It's a spoil. I don't want to spoil it. Like I
Well,
just said, we don't know. We don't know all that he did, and they're having problems because they can't figure out the paperwork because all of his paperwork was in a code.
Okay.
So they can't even tell what the boss was doing. It's like when our office changes bosses and everything goes down the toilet when you change a boss. Well, that's what happened.
No comment.
That's what
Now
happened.
we're getting another 2 episodes next week, and then and then the final 2 episodes the week
right,
after.
there's usually like 6 or 8 episodes, yeah.
Why are they doing it 2 episodes instead
Yeah,
of
it's
just 1
interesting.
episode a week? That tells me they don't have confidence in this season.
No,
They're just releasing
I
it.
think they have to do it because it is a complex story. You don't want to lose the focus. These stories are often complex and are dealing with all these different things. I could see them doing it that way.
Oh no.
Because you don't want to lose focus, and we're learning about the characters, but there's still a lot of questions. I'm enjoying it. I like it better than the last 2 seasons. The last season was way too unbelievable. It was about the Russians, and I found it unbelievable.
I thought you said that was Venezuela last
That
season.
was the 2nd season.
Oh, okay.
Or the 3rd season.
Which season's
they've
been the
all
best so
over.
far?
The first one.
The first season? Which was in where?
I don't know if he went
In
to
the US?
Afghanistan. He went somewhere bad and he got into bad business. He was following the money and found these terrorists. I can't remember what country he went to. But it was about him and what he did for a living. He was following this money and he found all these interesting anomalies, and he was like, basically his bosses had no idea that these people existed.
Mm-hmm.
And he was able to show that, listen, these guys are really poised to do something bad. We need to do something about it. And he had to push for that. That's kind of what the first season was about.
So it was in the Middle East?
I think so, yeah. I don't remember exactly what country it's in, but
I
it was
don't
like
know. It doesn't say
terrorism
here.
and that kind of stuff. So then he got in with a politician and he was doing stuff there. And then he went to Russia. I don't remember there was another season. Anyway, I didn't like the last 2 as much, especially the last one was very unbelievable. It was more like maybe 1990s Russia, not 2021 Russia.
Okay.
Anyway, it was way too small.
And the first
Russian
season
thing.
was the best, though.
Yeah, but
Okay.
I'm enjoying this season because it just brings us back to who Jack Ryan is.
Yeah. So fair warning, next week's episode, we're going to be spoiling it as we're
Okay.
going to it, because we have to in order to talk about
Okay, well, it
stuff.
just came
So
out today, so people haven't got a chance
you
to
got
watch
till
it yet.
next week to catch up,
Gets caught up.
or you can just skip it. I got the time codes in the description
Yeah.
down below. You can always
I'm
skip
enjoying
that.
it though. It's still a good show. It's fun. It's about spies and stuff like that, so it's fun.
Excellent. I still don't have time to check this out, but let us know what you guys think of Jack Ryan, which is on Prime.
Yeah,
It's
and when I
from
saw
Amazon
it today,
Studios.
I realized how much I did like the show because, like, oh my gosh, I got some Jack Ryan to watch. Like, I was really excited, right?
Okay. Are you a big fan of Jack Ryan, or have you checked it out at all? Let us know down in the comments below what you think of Jack Ryan, which is on Prime. Our next review is for Clone High, which I'm dubbing it the 2nd season. So before last week's episode, I had watched the first 2 episodes of this, and I believe there's 10 episodes. Then you want to watch it with me, so I went back and watched those with you. And what were you watched the first episode? What were your thoughts there, dear?
I don't know. It's just not for me. I don't care for it.
The humor wasn't your style of humor?
No, I don't find it very funny. It's just it's not for me. It's not like Futurama or Lower Decks or Simpsons or something. To me,
Gotcha.
it's not funny enough.
It has a 54% audience score, so audiences aren't loving it that much either. However, critics love it. It's at 100%. Now, you gotta take that with a grain of salt.
Doesn't make much sense.
Even though it's because a lot of times critics do their reviews and they get to see the first couple of episodes early, sometimes the first 2 or 3.
Right.
And so then they'll write their review based on that, and it can go downhill after those episodes.
Oh, okay.
However, it's got a high critic rating. I really enjoyed this. There's not too much to say. I'm not going to spoil what happens, like for the end of that season. I don't know if we're getting more of this. If we do, I'm definitely down for it. I had a fun time with this. This is exactly what I remember Clone High to be. It's just some wacky humor, kid humor. And, some crazy characters. We get, Cinnamon J. Scudworth back, the principal.
I'd much rather watch, like, Teen Titans or something if I'm going to watch something like that. I just didn't care for this one. Or Scooby-Doo, I don't know. It's
Phil
not my
Lord
thing.
does the voice for Principal Scudworth, apparently. And that's also one of the creators.
Okay.
So I had a fun time with this. I know I've read a lot of the reviews. People are saying it's a mess. I had fun with it. If we get more of these, this would definitely be a weaker season than the first season for me. But I haven't seen the first season in years. I'd have to go back and watch it. Maybe I will. It's really short. So I definitely give this a best season ever.
For me, It's like, I'd rather watch Scooby-Doo.
But I think I'm in the minority. However, let me look up the original Clone High from 2002. And
I did watch it with you.
That one has a higher, is that, once again, a critic rating of 100%, but an audience score of 79%, so more of the audience enjoyed it.
I liked it better than this. I don't remember exactly why. It was a while, but it's still not my thing. But this new one, I didn't care for it at all. I don't know.
Okay.
It's not my thing at all.
Well, that's our thoughts on the new season of Clone High, or the reboot of Clone High from 2023. Let us know your thoughts down in the comments, please. We'd love to hear from you. Our next review is for Star Trek Strange New Worlds, Episode 1. What do you have to say on this?
Well, I didn't even realize it was coming out until I saw it on my PVR. Well, I watched Strange New Worlds last season, the first season last year, and I did enjoy it. I felt it took a while for me to get into it and learn the characters. It's very much like the original series, only revamped. So with that comes a few issues, and that is very episodic. Like, it's not, the stories aren't necessarily linked too much, but I really like some of the characters, and especially I like their engineer. Spoilers, because this was season 1. They killed him off. He was like one of the most interesting characters.
Hopefully it wasn't Scotty.
No, he's not there. The only characters that are there that we know of in the next Enterprise, which would be the original series, are Nurse Chapel and Uhura and Spock.
Yeah.
There's no one else. So they killed off the interesting chief engineer. He was a blind fella. I just thought he was an interesting character. So in this episode, basically, well, I don't know if they officially get a new engineer, but they have a vacancy. And,
so they've been going around without an engineer at all.
Chief engineer.
So everyone else is okay. This is
engineer.
This is typical public service. Okay.
Yeah.
Someone. Okay. Not that people would die, but if there's a vacancy, they just don't fill it forever because they want to save money.
A lot of vacancies.
And they just force the rest of the public servants, the rest of the crew, to do more work.
Yeah, there's a lot of vacancies in this because number 1, spoiler for last season, she got taken away.
Who's she?
Number 1, Rebecca Romaine. She got the number 1. That's what he called
Mystique got taken away?
No. Anyway, the number 1 got taken away because she's one of these, like the con group, like they were genetically altered, genetically advanced strength and everything, and she got found out, and she got arrested.
Is this from the original Star Wars canon?
That's what I'm saying. It's all it's about the original. Okay. This is like leading up to the original series. So it's very much like that, but of course it's modernized. And there's not a guy hitting on all the women, which is also good. But
there's no Kirk?
No, there's no Kirk. But we have characters we know. And of course we do know Captain Pike, because we know what happens to him in the original series.
Yeah.
But in this starts off, the chief engineer has died in the last season, and their security officer, Noonien Singh, has gone off to help people she was attacked by the Gorn when she was a child.
Gone on sabbatical?
Yeah, because she was the only one left that survived the Gorn, or
This
vicious.
sounds like a public service organization to me. Someone went through a lot of stress, doing a crappy job. They go on sabbatical, leaves more work for everyone else. They got another vacancy. The employer just doesn't fill it.
There was a death, a sabbatical, and an arrest.
Okay.
So we have some vacancies. So in this first episode, it's about the undercrew. It's not really about, because we've lost number one, and the captain's off to solve that problem. And the chief security officer has gone off to fight the Gorn. The Gorn are the big enemy in this.
Okay, so they're in a war with the Gorn.
They're vicious. Well, no, they're not in a war with the Gorn, but they're like this big threat. And that was in the first season as well. That doesn't
answer why they can't get reinforcements.
Anyway,
just go back to space dock and pick up some more crew members.
They are in space dock. That's how it starts. They're in space dock. They lost half their crew. They're in space dock. That's how this season starts. But things happen. Anyway, and Carolyn Kane comes on the scene. And she's, filling in for Engineer at this time. I don't know if she's going to stick around. She's an interesting character for sure. They got rid of the other interesting characters, so let's hope. Anyway, and it's all a lot about Mr. Spock in this one. Anyway, it's interesting.
Who is the new Mr. Spock? Ethan Peck?
He's good as Mr. Spock. I like him.
Is he better than Zachary Quinto?
I think that's what I find.
Really?
I like him better.
It's got high critic ratings.
I don't know why I like him better, but I do.
This series has a 98% critic score and an 82% audience score, so most people are enjoying it. I've heard a lot of good things about it.
Somehow they've been able to capture more of the essence of the original series in this, and I'm not even sure how they're doing it.
Is it the aesthetic?
No, it's modernized. It's beautiful looking. But it's just the way that they're telling the stories, and just the way it's really a homage to it. Whereas all the other Star Treks have not been like the original series. This one really is, I find, in a lot of ways.
So fans wanted it more like the original, but different, because everything that was just completely different, Star Trek fans didn't like it.
It took me a while to get into. Oh God,
the J.J. Abrams crew.
Discovery is just so way out there. Discovery to me is not written by anyone that knows anything about Star Trek, and anyway, it makes me upset. But I think I don't want.
But you're looking forward to that next season of Discovery, aren't you?
No, I watch it because I'm a Star Trek fan. I need to know what happens, but I don't like watching.
You just want to torture yourself with
this?
I
found, unfortunately, that tainted I found that same whatever was going on with Discovery tainted the last season of Picard as well. I didn't care for some of that. But anyway, I still like Picard a lot better, and I like the first two seasons. Anyway, I enjoy it. It did take me a while to warm to it, but I'm interested in seeing what happens every week. And it does, there are some underlying stories, I suppose, but it is way more just like episodic.
How many episodes you watch?
Well, there's only one for the season so far.
No, it says the second one was aired on June 22nd.
I haven't got to watch it yet.
That's second episode is Ad Astra per Aspera.
Yeah, well, what happened was my PVR somehow screwed up and recorded the second one twice. The first one twice, but I haven't had a chance to watch it yet. I've been busy.
Fair enough. I haven't had much time for TV as well either, so... are you enjoying Strange New Worlds? I can't comment on it because I haven't watched it because I'm just...
You're not going to watch it. You're not into Star Trek.
Yeah, I'm kind of into more having fun with Star Trek instead in my own way.
Yeah, you like making fun of it. But this is not a show that you make fun of.
Talking about Voyager, it's hilarious.
This is a nice show. And I'm not sure exactly why, but it's very much like the original series.
Okay. If you know the answer why it's so much like that, let us know down in the comments below. And if anyone's watching this, leave a comment. We want to hear from you, please. Our next topic we're going to go on to is... Oh, yes, I got another book. Because I talked about Star Wars Aftermath last week. Well, now I finished Star Wars Aftermath Life Debt, which is the second book of this trilogy series.
Was it as good as the first one?
Spoiler alert, it's even better than the first
good,
one.
because your characters are getting more, you're learning more about them, eh?
Yeah, you're back with the characters again. They kind of get pulled apart a little bit, but they just end up keep coming back together. And in this one, you see more of some of the legacy characters. So your ragtag team, which is a rebel pilot, she's the leader. She was a pilot in the Battle of Endor there, Return of the Jedi, in fighting the second Death Star. There's a bounty hunter. There's an ex-Imperial loyalty officer. He's the most interesting character. There's a rebel special ops force. And then the lady who's in charge, what's her name? I think it's Captain Nora Wexley. She's got her son with her that she went back to get in the last book. This one, they end up teaming up with Han Solo and Chewbacca.
Oh, so bringing them into it.
So what happens is Solo goes missing. Remember I was telling you before they got all these interlude stories? And they're quite interesting because you find out what's happening with different characters.
With the Ewoks. This is after the Ewok.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so the last one was after Return of the Jedi.
Oh, okay.
It's not that long after. So the war's still going on. It might only be like a year later.
Oh, okay. Or
less. Who knows? So Han Solo has to leave the rebellion because he has to go help Chewie. They got a chance to take back Chewie's homeworld.
Oh, yeah.
The Wookiee planet's called Kashyyyk. So they go missing, and Princess Leia hires the team, Nora and her team, to go find him.
Okay.
Which they do, and then they team up with him to go help them liberate Kashyyyk from the Empire.
That sounds nice.
And
with lots of Wookiees in there, I like.
Yeah, and they've essentially been enslaved since the fall of the Old Republic.
What's his brother's name again? Chewbacca's brother.
I have no
idea. Is he in it? No, he's not in it.
Why? His brother.
Isn't he the one that Yoda talks to them and he's in
Tarfur?
Yeah, that's it.
I don't think that's his brother, but I don't know. I'm not that well versed on the Star Wars, so I have to look that up on Wikipedia.
That's his name, though.
I don't think that's his brother.
Oh,
I think it's just another Wookiee.
Okay.
They team up. So
I guess we have to watch the Life Day special to find out.
No one talks about the Star Wars Day special. The Life Day special. Whew. Yeah, we don't talk about that.
No.
So there's 5 in the team, I think, and then so they team up with Han Solo and Chewbacca, and they go help them to liberate them because these Wookiees have been enslaved and they've been destroying their world for how long it's been, like 30 years or something.
All the trees and everything.
Since the clones took over and then the Empire took over. Jeez.
It's been rough on them Wookiees.
Yeah, so because they're such a powerful race, that's why the Empire enslaved them.
Right.
Because they're great slave labor.
Yeah.
So, and they've been really under a brutal regime, and essentially, like, their planet's been made into a prison planet.
Oh, no.
Okay, so the entire race is enslaved. If they haven't been shipped off to, the mines of Kessel or somewhere else, right?
Oh, jeez, yeah.
So that's why they have this opportunity. They gotta go do this. Because the Empire is over right now, and it's just the last remains. Now, we're still following this Grand Admiral Sloane throughout this book. She was throughout the first one. Because in the first one, she takes over the Space Navy, okay?
Oh.
Okay? So, there's a couple Star Destroyers and a Super Star Destroyer.
Okay.
It's probably the only one left, and she's in charge of it.
Oh, so they're still going
So she takes the title of Grand Admiral.
Okay.
Because there isn't any others around right now.
No.
Thrawn's missing, apparently.
Right.
This is also kind of in the same era as The Mandalorian.
I was gonna say, this is those people that they were showing,
Yeah, the Shadow Council.
The Shadow Council.
Who also make appearance in these books.
Aha, is she one of those out there?
She was, but she has to follow the chain of command, and there's this other Grand Admiral, there's this other guy above her,
Right.
Gallius Rax, and throughout this whole book, it's she hates him and she thinks that he's destroying the Empire.
Right.
And she wants to assassinate him so that she can
Right.
just take power for herself because it's the Empire, right?
Yeah.
And let's just say she does some dumb things. I thought she was really dumb in it.
Oh, okay.
I was like, what are you doing? She just kind of falls for a bunch of crap, right?
Okay.
There's a bunch of stuff in it about the Senate and the Chancellor.
It's always so boring, the Senate stuff.
Yeah.
I don't like
But
it
does, those are a lot of the interludes, but it does play into, this is what's happening in the rest of the galaxy, so that you know the whole context of what's going on.
Stuff is what's wrong with some of the, well, there's other things, but the prequels. Oh, that's Senate garbage. So boring.
So, overall, this one was even better than the first one.
Good.
And I'm already like 100 pages into the third one.
Oh, that's
so,
good.
and the third one...
Is there only 3? Like, they
all have these great... there's only 3 in this trilogy.
That's good, then.
There's all these great stories. In fact, there's...
End on a high note, right?
You know, there's some stuff about alkalites on Corellia, which is where Solo's from.
Oh, that's where he's from.
Yeah, we saw that at the beginning of Solo, remember?
I guess I kind of blocked that.
There's a really interesting story. There's a really interesting story in the third one, but I'll talk about that then. However, this one was very enjoyable and definitely better than the first one. But the first one was still really good too.
Okay,
so I recommend these best book ever.
Okay, good.
And it's nice that I'm getting to learn more about this because it's nerdy stuff, but I enjoy this geek culture. But when you actually get good books out of it,
that's nice.
Even better.
Yeah.
Same thing with Star Wars movies. You know, we get more Star Wars movies. It would be nice if they were really good, but at least we get more Star Wars movies, even if they're not so great.
Okay.
That's...
We haven't had one in a little while. Maybe the next one will be good. What is the next one supposed to be out? Do we know anything about that?
Don't get me started on talking about what a mess Lucasfilm is in.
Oh,
okay.
So we don't even have a next one.
We got dates, but we don't know what's supposed to be coming out.
Oh,
and because they announced
Disney.
Because they announced 3 new movies at Star Wars Celebration this past year. I reported on that.
Right.
Is that happening?
Yeah, that's what
we don't know. Everything before that has been canceled.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll just have to wait till we see a movie poster.
So really, we'll believe it when we see it, because they keep announcing things and then canceling them, and we see nothing.
Right. Yeah.
And it's been... How long has it been now? 4 years since we've seen a Star Wars movie?
I don't know. It just seemed like a long time.
2019.
It was before the pandemic, so it seems like forever.
Yeah, it was 2019. December 2019.
Yeah. We've got the TV series, though, since then. Obi-Wan and Andor and The Mandalorian.
We've gotten a lot of stuff since then, but it's all... But nothing in the movie. Yeah, nothing in the theater. So the hope is that now that Bob Iger is back... in charge there at Disney, he's going to have them push for theatrical releases and get the movies in charge, because he doesn't want to focus on putting out content just for Disney Plus. They want to make movies and have them in theaters, make lots of money, and then it goes to Disney Plus and they make even more money, because that's smart business. If you've read any of the Star Wars books, let me know if there's any good ones, or if you've read these Aftermath ones by Chuck Wendig, let me know. And what'd you think of them? Were they good? Did you not like them? Which was your favorite? Please leave a comment down below. Now it's time for another segment of Chakotay's Odyssey, featuring the adventures of Janeway.
Okay. Is this a good one? What's it called?
Season 2, Episode 8 is called Persistence of Vision.
Well, at least the name makes sense.
This one was pretty enjoyable, actually.
Oh, good.
It's another one where they seem to be doing this season where they're just focusing on one character each episode.
Okay.
This one is Janeway's episode.
Well, I don't have time.
So the captain finally gets her own episode.
He's even doing all this stuff with Harry Kim and Tess and
She's
Neelix.
back. Immediately, she's back to her sort of big bun hair.
Oh.
Keeps changing it back and forth.
Maybe you can grow it out quickly in
So,
space. I don't know.
The episode starts off, she's walking down the corridors towards the camera West Wing style. And it goes for a long way. And
like
they're just...
speed walking?
No, they're not speed walking, but it goes for a long stretch that they have to move that camera.
Oh, that's cool.
So she's walking down there. People keep coming up to her with stuff. You gotta do this, Captain. You got.
Yeah.
No, there's stuff that she has to take care of, but she's not delegating it to other people.
You know what's
She's
missing?
kind of taking too much on.
Yeah, you know what's missing in Star Trek? The captain should have an assistant, a personal assistant. That's what's lacking. I just realized that. Because there's too much for their schedule. They never have a personal assistant, but really they would.
All she needs to do is just designate more of her duties to the XO so that he can do more. Because he's mostly just sitting there all the time anyway.
Or Tuvok, he does nothing.
He just surrenders a lot and sits around being boring. So all these people are coming up to her, and finally, I don't know if it's Neelix bothers her about something really dumb about his kitchen.
He needs a new ladle.
It's something dumb like that. And eventually she just snaps.
Oh, good. She snaps on Neelix.
Okay, she starts just getting angry and yelling at everyone. And it's the doctor who becomes the mini doctor in this one. He ends up being like 4 inches tall.
Oh, I do remember him being tiny.
There was one where he got squished down.
Yeah.
In the first season,
this one?
they were trying to get him to project him into engineering.
Right.
And he came out about 4 inches tall. And then Janeway had to get on her knees and talk to him.
They haven't got their hollow emitter fixed yet. They haven't invented it yet.
Well, hopefully they do, because then the doctor puts her on leave because she's stressed out. And orders her to go to the holodeck immediately.
Oh, there you go. So the
for rest and relaxation.
Well, to be a nanny to children.
Yeah, so that's exactly
restful.
where she is. She's back in ancient England.
Oh my god!
In the dress with the corset and the hair and everything.
Know how to relax. I mean, this is a problem.
Apparently, that's relaxing for her. But we learn why. We start to learn why she wants to have this program.
She doesn't have any children.
It's because starts to get steamy.
Oh!
Okay, so that's what she's using the holodeck for.
That's what I thought she was looking after children.
The stern and angry landowner there that she's looking after the kids for in this simulation.
Yeah.
Can't keep his hands off her.
Oh, weird.
So
okay,
we found out what she's using that holodeck for.
Oh my god.
Which makes me wonder. Isn't that what everyone would use the holodeck for?
No, I think they would pretend to go to Ryza or something. That would be more, instead of being like dressing in those weird clothes still, and that's just obscure.
Ryza's that nude planet, isn't it?
Well, it's the holiday planet, yeah.
Which means that anytime someone's in the holodeck, they gotta scrub that thing down and disinfect it, okay?
Okay, well she's looking after children and liking the landowner.
I wonder whose job that is on the ship.
When you're not in there, it's dangerous, right? It probably just burns up in a flame and then resets. Anyway. The thing is dangerous, man. Anyway, okay.
So it starts to get steamy.
Yeah.
But she gets called away to the bridge. Darn her.
Oh.
Okay?
She didn't get to relax. She's on leave.
Yeah, so she has to. They're doing a first contact with this alien race that they want to trade with.
Is she dressed in the weird clothes still?
No, she changes.
Oh, see, that would be funny. They lost opportunity there.
No, it's only the captain that orders everyone else to do that. When she's like, get here, it's get here now. When if someone else says captain to the bridge, she's like,
to go change.
I gotta change and do my hair first.
She does her hair like up even when she gets tousled in an emergency. She makes sure to have her hair done.
What if there's like half an hour or an hour between like the time you call her and the time she gets to the bridge?
You take those garments off from the 17th century.
But also probably Kirk and Picard would do. Well, Picard would do the same thing with the holodeck. Kirk didn't have a holodeck.
Well, Picard didn't have to worry about his hair. Anyway.
So she has to meet with the envoy before they actually get to their space.
Okay.
To see, because they just want to pass through. That's what it is.
Oh, okay.
They can try and trade, but they ask permission to go through the space, right?
To go that way.
So, and she kind of keeps getting more stressed out. And as you watch it, you're sitting there, okay, so suddenly she's starting to hear things.
That's really stressed out.
Okay? She's starting to hear the voices of the characters from the holodeck.
Sounds like she's getting like
And
schizophrenic.
And then
or
she's
something.
in the mess hall arguing with Neelix over something.
Yeah.
And she sees the cup. He gives her a cup, and it's the same cup that she was using in the holodeck. That's part of the program.
She's got a mental illness
She's like,
now.
oh, that's just a coincidence, right?
Right.
And then she sees the same sandwiches that were in the holodeck. Well, as you know, Neelix always makes weird alien food that all the crew complains
make,
about.
Like, cucumber sandwiches or something.
That's what it was, cucumber sandwiches. So she's, after those two things, oh, that's definitely a coincidence. But then she starts hearing the voices, and then she starts seeing the characters.
Going insane.
Yeah. So what do you think would be the smart thing to do in this case here? What would be the first thing you do?
Go to the doctor?
Yeah, go to sickbay, right?
Right.
So what does she do? Nope. Go in engineering.
To the holodeck? At least that would be the second choice.
Yeah, she goes to the holodeck to try and figure out if it's working right or not, but she goes to engineering to run a scan or something.
Because there's no science officer, that's why.
But also it comes back to the point that she keeps trying to do everything herself. So this is the Janeway stressed out episode. Why they call it this weird persistence of vision, I would just call it Janeway stressed out.
She needs a personal assistant.
Anyway, this keeps happening. And she does go to sickbay.
Right.
And she starts hallucinating.
Oh my god.
While she's there.
Did she eat poison?
No, she falls asleep in sickbay. But what happens is we see her doing something else and then just gets out of hand. And then we see that she never left sickbay. She's just hallucinating and having, terrors in her sleep.
People get stressed out. They don't normally hallucinate.
But then she has another vision while she's sitting there in sickbay.
Okay.
And doctor's like, what is going on? Because she's just talking to nothing, right? But then who comes in? Superpowers Kess comes to the rescue.
Oh,
and
she's a doctor now, I'm sure.
She's got her weird space elf telepathic powers.
Her Spidey sense.
That we never see. And it always does something different each episode when we see it.
Sweat in this one?
No, but she saw this vision.
Oh, so she's seeing the weird English people too, and the cucumber sandwiches.
Yeah, and it's this weird English kid. It's kind of looking at her in the Shining style. Remember with the twins?
Yes.
And then it moves towards her and fades into her.
Oh God.
And Kes sees that happen.
So the holodeck is acting up again.
Yeah, you're thinking, what is going on with this?
So what happened?
And the captain just keeps getting worse and worse.
Neelix put some ergot or something in the soup.
You'd think it would be his cooking, or Harry's clarinet gets infected with a space monster, possesses it, and then him playing it, makes Janeway go crazy.
Anyway,
I don't know.
So why was she crazy?
Well, hold on. Before I get to that, she keeps getting crazier and crazier. So Chakotay has to take over.
Yeah.
And they eventually have to, you got to stay in sickbay. You can't go anywhere else. Chakotay goes to meet up with these new aliens because they get to the edge of their space. And they go to meet up with the ship. And the ship just... They're talking to them and the guy's like, your captain's not here. We have very strict protocols, so they attack them. Which makes no sense.
He is acting captain.
Yeah, so the guy doesn't accept that. He's just being a dick, and suddenly these two ships decloak, and they got 3 ships after them.
They're like the Romulans.
And as they're trying to fight them or get away, everyone starts having visions.
Oh, now everyone.
So now it's affecting other people too.
Okay, it was ergot in the soup.
And what happens is, eventually, everyone's just standing there catatonic.
Oh, great.
And it keeps affecting more and more of the crew members.
Is it this?
And they're just lost in this vision.
This space that they're in?
It keeps affecting more and more people, and it goes through each crew member. B'Elanna's trying to set up some kind of sensor spray. Some kind of tachyon burst or something. Some kind of energy burst that she's doing with her science.
Yeah.
And it follows her for a while, but then eventually she gets lost in her kind of visions. And what everyone sees is they're being shown what they want, what they want the most. So for some people, it's they want to be back home, right?
Right.
And for other people, for some people, it's a nightmare, though. For some people, it's, people they hate yelling at them. Because Tom Paris, he's up on the bridge with Janeway at one point.
Yeah.
And he keeps seeing his father.
Oh.
And he wants to yell at him all the time.
Great.
So it keeps going through each crew member. But get this. So B'Elanna's working for a while. And when she starts going into her vision, we see her dark secret, what she really wants, but she won't admit to anyone.
What?
Okay? She starts getting steamy with Chakotay.
Chakotay?
Yep. She's all over.
Paris.
She's all over that. Okay.
Oh, that's just creepy.
That must be
He's
why.
Like her dad. Anyway.
I don't think there's that big of a difference between their age.
And she's from the MAX. He's like her dad. Anyway, that's just weird.
Anyway,
they're not getting anything right.
Each character goes down one by one, and we see them get sucked into their vision.
Okay, how does it stop? What does the doctor do?
I think the doctor he can't do anything, but he's yelling at Cass at the end because she has her magic space alpha powers that are never quite defined. She's the last one after it goes through everyone else. Also, by the way, the first one out when this starts happening to all the crew is Tuvok. He's gone. He's the first one gone. He sees his wife and he's like, "This is not logical, but I'm totally for it." It's great. He's the first
he's
out.
Like the security officer.
He's useless as a security guard officer. We've seen that many times, and this proves our point. So the last one is Cass. And several times she starts to go into it.
Right.
And then she'll fight back.
Right.
Whoever it is. At first it was Tom Paris trying to get her to help him.
Right.
Because she knows he has feelings for her.
Oh.
And she sees him injured.
Right.
Okay? But she has to leave him even though he's screaming for help.
That's alright.
And the second time it's Neelix. But eventually the doctor helps her just by the doctor screaming at her from the view screen to get her to finish it. Shoots out the burst.
Oh, yeah.
And what happens is suddenly the burst hits an alien that was on the ship.
Oh,
who was cloaked.
Oh,
they couldn't see.
And he was making them go crazy.
Yes. And also, he made those other ships that they saw. Wasn't real. That wasn't real.
Oh, it wasn't even real.
It was all in their head.
But he was following Janeway, I guess, at first, because he liked the captain. Okay. He was
targeting the captain first.
Okay.
And so what happens is, they go to arrest him. Okay. Because they got him, and he's like, "Yeah, that's great, but I'm not even here," and then he just disappears.
Oh my gosh.
I'm just in your head right now.
They made that technology.
Okay. And then the ship just flies off and disappears as well.
And that's how it ends.
And he doesn't tell them whether it's
no, he doesn't explain it.
Whether it's telepathic or whether it's technology.
Right.
He doesn't say anything. And he's like, "I don't have to explain anything to you or what I do," and then he just leaves.
So they didn't even have to ask anyone about the space. That was all made up. Anyway, okay.
They didn't say. But everyone on the crew is now shocked, and they're in this weird state.
They don't have a science officer. They need to send Tuvok for retraining. No one can figure it out.
But now everyone there is going to have mental health problems.
Oh, I guess so.
And one of the things I noticed is they said before that they were down to their food reserves were down to 30%. We never see them having to cut back on anything. We never see lights out.
Yeah. They never. That's the problem.
The ship should be busted up.
Like when there is a problem and Janeway's hair is all messed up, and the next scene her hair is perfect. Like they're a bit, and then when this ship gets destroyed, the next scene it's perfect.
Things should get worse and worse each episode. It's not
like realistic. Yeah.
It doesn't follow good continuity. I don't like that.
Or they should have to go to these planets to gather algae off the rocks or something.
Anyway, so the reason I like this episode is because just this alien guy being a dick and robbing people, whether it's superpowers or whether it's technology, and he's just doing it because he can, and he don't give a damn.
Oh well.
And then they're all victims, and now they have to live with it. So everyone's
he's spying on them too. What a creepy guy.
Yeah, but how does he know their thoughts and what they want?
Oh, well.
So what to show them?
I don't know.
He doesn't explain it.
Oh well.
Anyway, I thought it was quite an interesting episode, and you get some good info on each of the characters, so you get some good character development, I found.
Okay, that's good.
And that's another episode of Chakotay's Odyssey, featuring the adventures of Janeway. Now, we're back in the apartment building for another one of our segments of Big Bangin' Reviews.
Oh, gosh.
Which means
Okay.
I'm still working my way through
I thought you were finished.
The Big Bang Theory. There's 12 seasons.
Oh, when is this one now?
So I finished season 6.
Oh, gosh.
I got to watch I got to watch quite a bit of TV on my vacation when we weren't out doing stuff and we weren't actually supposed to go outside because of the smoke.
Oh, yes, you had smoke issues.
So we hung out and we were watching Big Bang Theory because we were both having a great time watching it.
Not your mother.
No, with her.
Oh.
She was having a great time. I was having a great time. That show is so funny. This is one of my favorite shows.
She said you had the television really loud when you were there.
So here's some highlights from season 6. You're going to love this. So Sheldon ruins his date with Amy by inviting Raj. So Amy wasn't impressed by that. It's like some big anniversary. Howard's in space still because he went at the end of last season. And he's fighting with both the women in his life. With both his mother and Bernadette, his wife.
But he's in space, so he can't fight that much.
Yeah, but they're yelling at him constantly and giving him crap. And all of NASA can hear this.
Right.
And the other astronaut and the cosmonaut that's there. And they're just ripping on him, calling him Fruit Loops all the time. It was hilarious, okay? And he's like, God damn it. He just can't get away from them. Especially his mother's always screaming at him.
You think he would get away from her in space?
Raj starts a bromance with Stuart from the comic book store. So we're getting to see more of him. He's pretty funny. His character's a bit sad.
Yeah,
but I enjoy
he's a sad character that I recall.
Yeah, he was a bit too sad, but he is funny too. Okay?
He owns his own business.
Yeah, but it's not a very successful business according to him.
Well, there's people always in the store.
Not this season. It's mostly empty when he goes in there. Apparently they're at another store. The other astronauts are mean to Howard. Yeah, they're ripping on him a lot. Stewart's trying to be part of the group. They have somewhat success and they continue seeing more.
There.
Yep. And yeah, Sheldon finds out Penny's thinking of breaking up with Leonard, and that leads to a whole bunch of random crap. Howard starts going crazy in space. Sheldon hires an assistant, and we know later on he gets in trouble with her a lot. He's just not acting as an appropriate boss. He does inappropriate things, but because he doesn't know any better.
Yes.
Okay, so he gets to visit HR a lot. Mrs. Davis, we see her again this season.
Okay.
She's hilarious. That's the black lady, the HR manager.
I don't remember her.
And we know that whenever you get HR involved, it's never good.
Gosh,
man, those HR people, jeez.
I've got to deal with them next week now. I'm not looking forward to it.
Okay, Howard returns from space, and everyone's busy. Everyone's too busy to hang out with them. So he's all pissed off. He even has to go see his mother, and his mother is like banging his dentist or something, right? And they have the first couples game night, which, it doesn't go that well.
Okay.
Stuart throws a Halloween party at the comic book store. Howard won't shut up about going to space and NASA. And everyone's just like, shut up, buddy. We know you were in space. And he just won't let it go, right?
I would talk about it a lot if I went to space.
He changes every conversation into him going to space.
Right.
Amy and Sheldon have relationship issues. Yeah, that's not too big. Sheldon has a battle of wits with...
Kitty incoming.
Ooh, it's Penny. There's Penny Panther there.
Yeah.
You can come join us there, Penny.
Around like a little panther here.
Sheldon gets into an online battle of wits with Stephen Hawking.
Oh,
they're just playing a word jumble game. And he wins, and Stephen Hawking gets all pissy about it. And every time they have Stephen Hawking on voice on this show, it's actually Stephen Hawking.
I thought it was, yeah.
He loves that show, apparently.
I've seen at least one episode with him.
And Penny starts going to community college.
Oh, to take what?
I don't know, just to take some stuff to, she doesn't exactly have a lot of education.
Making?
Okay. There's a fight between Will Wheaton and Amy over Sheldon. And they start fighting because they're all filming the Fun with Flags thing together.
Oh, yes.
And Amy's like being a real bossy director to him. And just giving him a lot of crap. And for no reason. But it's funny. And Sheldon just kind of walks away and lets them fight about it. Bernadette's fighting with Howard over him not moving out of his mother's house, which eventually, and then because she can't, and because Amy doesn't want to work with Will Wheaton on the Fun with Flags show.
Yeah.
So who do they get to make a cameo appearance at the end?
I don't know.
LeVar Burton.
Oh, LeVar Burton.
Man, he shows up, and he's like just there for free food.
That's great.
He's a funny guy. Leonard and Penny fight over their new friend. Over her new friend. Yeah, I think it's a guy.
Oh.
Raj and Howard ponder 43. Oh yeah, because Sheldon's like sneaking off to the basement, and he's got a chalkboard there, and he wrote 43, and they're like, "What the hell is he doing?" It's this weird, creepy episode.
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
It's set up like it's some weird thing. However, it turns out to be nothing.
Oh.
If you've watched that episode, what does it turn out that Sheldon's doing? He's playing hacky sack, and 43 was his highest count of hitting it. So
they thought it was some kind of mystery.
He takes like 20 minutes every day to go to the basement to this locked room and play hacky sack. Weird. You think he would go outside,
not just do it in his apartment.
Sheldon and Wolowitz start fighting over Sheldon's parking spot that he never uses.
He doesn't have a vehicle.
Yeah, exactly. But he doesn't want to give up his parking space because it's his. Just being a dick. It spills over to Amy and Bernadette start fighting. Because
There's a lot of fighting in this season, by the sounds of it.
It's always fun, and they make up. It's just ridiculous stuff. Howard is forced to spend time with his father-in-law, Bernadette's dad. It's hilarious. He's like an ex-cop, and he doesn't get along with this geeky, small, nerdy guy at all.
Right.
All he's into is drinking beer and watching sports.
Sports, yeah.
Yep.
He's a sports guy.
He needs Penny's help. Sheldon nurses Amy back to health. Oh, yeah, she takes advantage of him. And she gets him to play nurse to her so that she can get some affection from her. In fact, this is a really funny episode because he has to spank her as punishment when he finds out. And she loves it.
I don't want to see that.
It's funny. The guys have a D&D night. Raj brings Stuart, and the girls are at a nightclub, so Raj just tags along with them, right? He's just like, I kill my character, and then he goes with them.
So like,
Raj
is not like doing much in this whole season by the sounds of it. And Leonard and Penny are on the back burner.
You don't see as much of Leonard and Penny. Oh, we get to see Giant Jenga this season.
Oh.
Remember the Giant Jenga?
No.
Apparently one of the show creators has that as like it's glued in place, and it has as a sculpture in like his foray in his house.
Oh.
So I can't remember which of the showrunners it is.
Well, it would be dangerous, I suppose.
Well, not if it's all glued together.
Oh, yeah, they have to glue it together.
They have that, and Alex hits on Leonard. That's Alex's Sheldon's assistant.
Oh.
Okay. Sheldon forms Sheldon's Cooper's Council of Ladies, and he makes T-shirts up for them and everything.
Like Charlie's Angels.
It's hilarious. Well, it's his council of ladies that he goes to for advice.
Oh, okay.
And then he gets pissed off at them afterwards, and he's like, "Give me back the shirts. I'm leaving." Okay. Oh, we get a great episode where hold on. Oh, we see more HR there. There's a Bakersfield Comic-Con, so it's where the guys dress up in their Star Trek uniforms, and then they stop on the way to go to this desert and do some photos in their cosplay. The car gets stolen.
Oh, I think I saw that one.
This is a great...
They get lost out in the desert?
Yeah, they're dressed up as Next Generation crew with Sheldon as Data, and he looks great. He looks really good as Data. Raj is Worf. He looks really good in the clean outfit. Leonard has the bald cap, and he's Picard. He's a really short Picard.
Right.
And Howard is a Borg. And they're pretty good, but they get their car stolen. Meanwhile, the girls are out researching comic books. What? They decide to do this. And when the guys finally get back, after their terrible journey, they hear outside the apartment, the girls are arguing about comic books. And they're like, wait a minute, how come Red Hulk and Green Hulk and this and that? Like, that's not true. And Bird's like, you don't know his life. How do you know this? And the guys are like, why are they talking about comic books and superheroes? What's going on?
Yeah.
This is a job for an away mission. And they go in with their tricorders. That's the end of the episode. It was pretty funny. What else we have? Sheldon's forced to work with Kripke. Love Barry Kripke. That guy's hilarious. Raj and Howard get ripped off for fake action figures. They buy these action figures of themselves, and it's just like these dolls, these random dolls. Raj's doll is a black guy with a fro.
He thinks it's supposed to be him?
No, they know it. They got ripped off because they just sent them crappy toys.
They ordered them to look like themselves, and that's what they got.
Yeah, they're supposed to get custom-made action figures of themselves.
Okay.
And they blew a whole bunch of money. So Howard gets in trouble with Bernadette because she's the breadwinner.
Yeah.
Leonard and Sheldon have a big fight, and Leonard threatens to move out. He's going to move in with Penny.
Should have moved out a long time ago.
But Penny doesn't want that.
Right.
Raj spends time with Mrs. Wolowitz, and he gets stuck there.
That's not a good idea.
He's lonely, so Howard asks him to go visit his mom because he's away, and he gets stuck there, and she starts babying him, and she takes his clothes to launder them, and he has to wear Howard's pajamas, and he can't get his clothes back, so eventually he has to like sneak out a window because she won't let him leave because she just wants someone to baby.
Right.
It's pretty hilarious. There's a Valentine's Day episode, so there's an interesting one because this is where Raj meets Lucy. Now, I was never a big fan of the Lucy character.
I don't know who that is.
It's this girl that she's really socially awkward and she keeps running away from him. They'll be out on a date and then she has to go to the washroom and then she jumps out the window.
Okay.
And it keeps happening and he keeps falling for it. I'm like, okay. So he keeps getting ditched. Sheldon and Penny record Fun with Flags. So he's getting everyone to help with this.
Oh.
Raj keeps getting ditched by Lucy. Then they make up and he has a date with her in the library where they can't talk. They just have to text each other. Sure. Weird. Let's see. Leonard and Howard speak to middle school girls. They have to give a presentation. While the girls, Penny, Bernadette, and Amy all head to Disney.
Penny the cat is coming.
Disneyland in okay. They head to Disneyland and the girls are all fighting over who gets to be Cinderella.
Oh.
Because they all have to be Cinderella. Sure. Anyway, it's funny at the end when they all go home. So when Bernadette goes home to see Howard and Penny goes home to her apartment and Leonard comes over, first thing they think of is the same thing. It's all sex. It's like, yep. So Bernadette is Cinderella. So
Okay.
Howard has to have sex with Cinderella. And Penny is dressed up as Sleeping Beauty.
Okay.
So as soon as...
Weird.
But in like full gowns with a fake tiara.
Weird.
So as soon as Leonard comes in the door, he's like taking his pants off. He's like, let's go.
Anyway, I don't know.
Howard and Bernadette trick Sheldon into organizing their closet for them, which is pretty funny. Leonard throws a great party there, and that's an emotional episode. It's all about a letter from Howard's dad who abandoned them when he was a kid.
Okay.
Okay. See what else we got here. Sheldon, Leonard, Raj compete with Kripke for a tenure spot. They get Penny and Amy to assist. I don't think any of them get it.
That's not how tenure works, I don't think.
Well, it's all about sucking up to the right people.
Anyway.
So they bring their hot girlfriends to impress the people on the committee, right?
That's how it works either. Anyway.
Amy helps Sheldon with his obsession with closure because he can't not finish things. That was a funny episode. Like, they play tic-tac-toe, and before he's about to win, she wipes it off the board, and he's like, oh my goodness. She gives him a jack-in-the-box, and as he's winding it up, she stops him, so he can't finish it. So all these things bother him.
Satisfying.
Yeah, and it bothers him so much.
Okay.
What else we got here? Leonard and Penny watch Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Yeah, she doesn't really like it that much. Raj has a manly date with Lucy. I don't remember what exactly was manly about it. Professor Proton. We see Professor Proton for the first time. It's Bob Newhart. Penny.
Oh.
It's Bob Newhart. That's the first time we see him as Professor Proton. Anyway. They make him climb up the stairs. He's like 90 years old and he has to walk up 4 flights of stairs.
Oh, to go to their apartment.
Yeah, because they hire him to do a kids show at their apartment.
Oh, okay. Oh, I think that's coming through now.
He's like their version of Bill Nye the Science Guy that they watched as a kid. What else we got here? The guys play D&D. Yeah, Raj ditches them. Leonard is invited to join Stephen Hawking's research expedition at the end of the season. And he goes for like 4 months.
I would go.
Out on like the Baltic Sea or something.
Stephen Hawking.
Okay.
He would go.
So, Well, Stephen Hawking's not on the boat. He just has a team going to do research for him in the field. So they have a going away party. Lucy does meet up with Amy, and then Lucy dumps Raj. He gets like a text message from her at the party, or maybe she gets a call.
They don't know what to do with Raj.
Yeah, I don't like how they constantly like treating him like crap all the time.
Yeah, they don't really have a good storyline for him.
Yeah,
ever really.
Season 6.
I've seen.
Season 6 is from 2012, I think. One of the better seasons. I really enjoyed it. Had a great time with it. And that's another segment of Big Bangin' Reviews. I think that's what we're calling that segment.
I'm not involved.
Now, we're going back into the DCEU for part 10. We watched James Gunn's The Suicide Squad from 2021.
I like this one.
Which is an awesome movie, whether you like DC or superhero movies at all. I'll let you start. This is a spoiler review because this is an older movie now.
Well, in saying that, this show is a lot like The Boys in tone. It's not for kids. Not for kids at all.
Mm-hmm.
It's extremely violent. It has that kind of The Boys undertones to it. But it's fun. I like the characters. I especially like the Weasel. At the end.
The Weasel is
foolish. I want more Weasel.
The Weasel is played by James Gunn's brother, Sean Gunn. James Gunn is the director and usually one of the writers. This movie from 2021, which completely bombed at the box office because everyone's given up on these DC movies. And also it was middle of pandemic. I got to see it twice in the theaters. It was great. 90% certified fresh.
That's great.
And an 82% audience score, and that's more than 2,500 verified ratings. This movie is awesome.
So I don't mind it, and I don't even mind the fighting in it.
Tell us what you like about it.
The characters.
So you say you like Weasel. What other characters do you like in this?
Well, I think all the characters make sense. The whole movie makes sense. Waller is an a-hole in it, and
Amanda Waller.
She gets some. Yeah. We get some payback on her.
Viola Davis. She's so good. Well, in everything, but she's great as Amanda Waller.
Yeah, because some of the stuff in the other Suicide didn't make sense, like when she shot all her employees and weird stuff like that. This makes sense, and it's funny. I like the characters.
Did you like John Cena's character Peacemaker?
He's probably my least favorite.
You didn't like that one scene when he was walking around in his tidy whities?
No, I find he's a douchebag. I don't.
He is. That's the whole point of his character. In fact, when John Cena said in an interview, when he asked the director, he's like, "So what am I going for here? What's my motivation? What's the character like?" They said, James Gunn told him, he said, "Douchebag Captain America." He's like, "Okay, done," and that's exactly what he does.
I don't like that.
And it's hilarious.
Anyway, he's an a-hole.
And he wears this dumb helmet, which they make fun of. So they make fun of all the costumes and all the characters because they're all ridiculous characters.
And we actually see Boomerang throw the boomerang, and we see the power of the boomerang in this movie because we had him all for 2 hours in the other movie, and we have no idea.
Hey, he threw 3 boomerangs in the first one.
But they're not magical. In this one, they're actually magical and they actually do things.
And he threw...
I can throw a boomerang too, man. Anyway.
That is my one... It was great to see Jai Courtney back as Captain Boomerang.
They killed him too quickly.
But that is one of my very few complaints about this movie, is they killed Captain Boomerang. Now, I'm not Australian, but Captain Boomerang is supposed to be stereotypically Australian.
We don't get any sense of him in this.
If you're in Australia and you see this video, are you pissed off that they killed off Jai Courtney's Captain Boomerang? Because I didn't like that. I want to see more of that character.
I thought it was funny. They could have given the guy with removable arms a little bit more time too, because that was hilarious.
Okay, TDK.
Which doesn't
played by Nathan Fillion, he pops up in all of James Gunn's movies because they're friends.
I think they could have done it. Was like too quick, but anyway,
that character actually survives.
Oh, does he?
Okay, when it's going through the credits, the beginning, and it's going like it's flashing through the credits and all the scenes.
Right.
It shows that he's not deceased. It shows the other character's deceased. His heart was still going.
Oh.
So they could bring him back. Just his arms were all shot up.
I think they should have done more with him, but it's funny, and it's crazy, and it's silly, but it makes sense. The country makes sense. The guy, everything about it makes sense.
They killed off so many of the Suicide Squad, and it was great because a lot of them are just dumb characters, but each one of them, usually you got to see them do at least something funny. Okay?
Yeah.
Even Mongal was stupid at the beginning. She jumps up and like, I take the high road. She jumps at the helicopter.
What she was all about.
And she's just being an idiot trying to take a helicopter down by herself and gets cut up.
I think they could have done a little bit more funny stuff with some of them because we don't really know them and then they're gone.
There's so many laughs in this film.
Anyway, I think it's well done. To me, it's the dark Guardians of the Galaxy.
Okay, what about Idris Elba's character, Bloodsport?
Yeah, he's the least funny character.
Yeah, he's the straight man.
He's not funny.
He's the straight man, which is funny. So he's the one who's just being straight all the time.
Yeah.
And everyone else is usually being funny around him. Although with the rats, he was acting pretty ridiculous. He was like, oh my god.
We don't really know why he's not afraid of rats. I couldn't figure out why he was so afraid. But anyway, he looks after the rat girl because his
Ratcatcher 2. So her backstory was rather tragic. She gets her own time to shine.
She's kind of sad as well.
But she's a funny character. She's so sleepy all the time.
I still liked. I just thought it was fun. It is really dark. It is really gory. I don't really like that part of it, but that's the way it is.
Ratcatcher 2 is so sleepy and tired all the time. She almost slept through King Shark and now eating her, and she's just sleeping while he's about to eat her.
I think he's the funniest, comic relief in the whole
voice
thing.
Of King Shark there
Stallone.
Is Sylvester Stallone.
I think he's got all the best lines and stuff.
The way they did the character was perfect. That's exactly what King Shark should look like.
Num-nums. Anyway, I think
he's dumb.
He's just funny. I thought he was really funny. I think some of the other characters, they could have done more funny things. They were just so quick in the movie. They were there for like 30 seconds and they were gone. But he's really funny. And
my other complaint about this movie is they killed Rick Flag, Joel Kinnaman's character. Yeah. He's supposed to always be with the Suicide Squad. I know why they did it, and that becomes it was part of the narrative is why they did it, and it makes sense, but it also becomes part of the narrative in the next part that we're going to watch. So that was good. But Joel Kinnaman did a great job.
There's high stakes in it, and what's his face?
Peter Capaldi shows up as the Thinker, and he looks absolutely ridiculous with all this stuff on his head.
He must have had such a ball with it.
He shows up in a tracksuit. He's like, I just chill out, even though he's this ridiculous supervillain.
He was having so much fun with that.
I think a lot of them were having fun on set.
He got to look really ridiculous.
Everyone who was cracking jokes looked as if they were having fun time. John Cena, Ratcatcher 2, I don't remember her name. Idris Elba looked like he was having a blast. Margot Robbie she's one of the least funny characters in this for me.
Yeah, she's not that funny.
This is probably the best portrayal of her Harley Quinn that we've seen. I like it more than the Fantabulous Emancipation one, Harley Quinn, the Birds of Prey movie. I liked it more than the Suicide Squad one. So this was really good. I enjoyed it. Who else we got? David Dastmalchian shows up as the Polka Dot Man.
He was weird.
The most ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
Okay. But they make you care for the character, and he has some funny moments because everyone he sees is his mom.
I know.
They must have made that actress work a lot because she had to put on all those different outfits.
Fun doing that, I could tell. Anyway, it's just funny. I enjoy it. It's not for kids. It's violent. So if you don't like violence, don't go see it.
There's hardcore violence and gruesomeness.
Mind it as much.
There's a lot of sex and nudity, and there's a lot of swearing. There's a bunch of nudity in it. There's a great scene where Bloodsport, Idris Elba's character, and Peacemaker, John Cena's character, have this kill-off. And they're just walking through this rebel camp, killing all of them, and they're just trying to up it and make it more violent, and they're competing with each other. I'm not going to spoil how they do it, but then at the end, they bust into the tent, and Rick Flag's sitting there with the leader of the rebels, who they're supposed to team up with, and they just kill all of them.
Because they're like, these are like, instead of the B team, these guys are like the L team, right?
Waller told us that you might be here, so they just decide they kill everyone instead of seeing what's going on.
They kill everyone.
And then they like, what happened to my men out there? Why didn't they alert me? We didn't see anyone. We didn't see anyone. And then King Shark is like, nom nom, and then chops off a finger.
Yeah.
Oh, and Polka Dot Man, he's sitting there. I turned them into my mom and killed them all.
Yeah, well, he's a bit depressing. But anyway, it's fun. It makes sense. It's the dark side. It's the dark Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, it definitely is.
What it is. I think it's real fun. Anyway, I definitely like this one. This is one of the good ones.
Is this your favorite DCEU movie we've watched so far?
No, I like the Shazam ones better.
Shazam is there for you?
Yeah.
And then this?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is above Aquaman or the other Suicide Squad. Birds of Prey, you like that a bit?
This one, the two Shazam movies.
Well, we're only up to part 10. We haven't done the Flash yet.
And the Flash, they're the good ones, and then the other ones are down there. Not good ones.
I'm doing a list for you. I'm keeping track of this.
Sort of in the middle.
What rating would you give this one?
I give this one like a 93. I really liked it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did I say what it is on Rotten Tomatoes?
It's a little bit gory for me, but I still like it.
Yeah, it's a bit violent, but it's so much fun. It's just joke after joke after joke.
Sense.
Then there's some emotion, and then it's right back into the jokes.
It has a story that makes sense. It's fun, and it's interesting.
Some of the jokes are more subtle, though. Like when Peter Capaldi walks in the first time you see him, he's walking in with this big crap on his head, and he's wearing a tracksuit. It's ridiculous. So
anyway,
but that's what he would wear. He's like, I want to be comfortable while I'm doing my evil experiments.
He's a good sport with anything after being Doctor Who.
Man,
anyway, it's good.
I think the actors all had a great time on set. Even the ones that are super serious in this.
They gotta tell them that there's a giant starfish there, and they gotta pretend to act with it.
I can't believe they did Starro the Conqueror. I think
it's hilarious.
Ridiculous and unknown comic book villain.
I think it's great.
I think it's from an early Justice League comic.
I don't know. It's just so silly.
But yeah, it is silly, and they do it really well.
Yeah.
And then they make you feel for him at the end there.
I didn't feel for him. I was glad he was dead.
Well, as he's
like those dangerous jellyfish on the beach, just like
as he's dying, the jellyfish on the guy's face, he's like, I was happy floating among the stars.
I didn't feel sorry for him. Yeah, he's like those damn jellyfish that wash up on the beach and you just stick a stick in them. That's what he was to me.
I give this best movie ever. It's not my favorite DCEU movie, but it's definitely up there. It's probably at least in the top 3, if not the top 2. It's not my favorite though. You know, there's some tough competition for me. For you, it's kind of not so much.
Not tough competition. It's up there.
So
there's only a few that are up there, and everyone else is way down.
I know. It's for you. It's Shazam, The Suicide Squad, Man of Steel, Wonder Woman 84, Birds of Prey. So check out James Gunn's The Suicide Squad if you haven't already. It's not. You don't have to worry about watching something else beforehand. Not with any of these movies. You can just jump in. It's a good movie, and then if you want to go back and watch other stuff, you can. But you don't have to. It's just a fun movie on its own. And if you've seen it, let us know down in the comments below. If you're one of the few people that saw this in the theater, let us know what you think of it. Even if you didn't enjoy it, if the humor didn't work for you or the violence or something, let us know. You know, want to hear your perspective.
Something to know is don't get it mixed up with the other Suicide Squad, because that one's no good. We talk about that on our
David Ayer's Suicide Squad from 2016 was a bad movie, but I had fun with it.
And it has that irritating Cara Delevingne or whatever.
You had fun with it too.
It's not good.
Remember at the end when she's all flippity floppity?
That was the
You're
worst.
Like, what is going on here?
That's so bad. Anyway, don't get it mixed up and get the wrong one. Anyway.
Let us know your thoughts on James Gunn's The Suicide Squad from 2021. We'd like to hear from you. Now it's time for another episode of Chakotay's Odyssey, featuring the adventures of Janeway.
Another one.
Well, you don't sound like you're excited about this one.
I'm running out of iced tea.
Season 2, Episode 9 is called Tattoo. And overall, I would recommend not watching this episode.
Oh, no.
This is another episode. I'm keeping track of it now. Which episode? How many episodes keep track of which characters? So this is mainly about a single character, but there is a side story that is quite interesting and fun.
Oh.
But the main
story
about one of the main cast, one of the main crewmen, is not that. It's boring. It's really boring.
Who's that about?
Who do you think it would be about?
Boring Tuvok.
No.
Harry him.
No, it's Chakotay.
Oh, well, he's the third. He's the next guy for boring.
It was rough. Let me just give you the cliff notes of it, okay? They're exploring some M-class moon, and they find a symbol, and it's the symbol that he has on his, like, meditation rocks. So it's from his people.
Well, that sounded interesting. But out in the Delta Quadrant doesn't make sense.
So this episode's called Tattoo, and it's about his tattoo that he has.
Oh, yes, that he has, yeah. Is that an eagle wing or something?
So he goes to... I don't know what it is. He goes to find these people on this planet, because they were on the moon, but now they're gone to the planet. And there's a lot of things that don't make sense. They can't beam down to the surface, so they have to take a shuttle, which doesn't make any sense. So Chakotay's going down there. He's got Tuvok with him, Mr. Personality himself. He's got B'Elanna.
Yeah.
She's sciencing it up. And they got Neelix with them. Because he's the food expert, I guess.
Oh, so he's going to gather some berries to poison them all with.
I guess.
Okay.
So they find so they go in search of these people that are his people, right? Except they're aliens. Long story short, they all have to leave. They have to beam out, but he gets stuck there because his comm badge fell off when a tree fell on him.
That hasn't happened before in Star Trek.
Yeah. So then he's trying to get these people to talk to him because he already threw away their weapons.
But they're the same people as him?
But they won't come talk to him, but he knows they're there.
Huh.
And he has to, at one point, he gets naked, and then he has to put on these clothes that they left for him, and only then will they come talk to him.
Does he speak a different language with them?
They do speak different languages, then they go through this ritual and they can understand each other.
But why is it that his people are there on this planet?
So this is an alien race that's all about living off the land and being one with nature.
But did someone abduct them from Earth and drop them off
there?
So
they travel to Earth.
Oh, and they influenced people.
Yeah, and they said it took them 2 generations to get there.
Oh.
Okay, from the Delta Quadrant to the Alpha Quadrant.
Oh, that's not good news for this crew.
Yeah, exactly. So they said they traveled there trying to meet people there.
77 years.
And they met Native Americans.
Right.
Who wanted to live with the land. And so they taught them their ways and everything.
Wasn't the opposite. The native people of Earth didn't teach them their ways.
So they didn't teach them about their technology or anything like that. And then they left.
Oh, I would have preferred to have said that the natives taught them some things.
And what makes this storyline even worse is that throughout it's Arrow style storytelling. It's flashbacks to young Chakotay as a 15-year-old brat with his dad.
I think I remember that, actually. I do recall that.
Anyway, it's really not interesting at all.
Oh.
But what else happens at the time is this fun story with the Doctor.
Yeah.
Okay, and his favorite sidekick.
Cass. Again, Neelix and Cass.
So
heavily saturated in each episode.
Listen, unfortunately this story doesn't last throughout the whole episode, but it's a fun story nonetheless.
Okay.
What happens is we see Ensign Joanne is back, and I know her name is not Ensign Joanne. That's just what I'm calling her because she's the pregnant crewman.
Okay.
Because they were only supposed to be out for a few weeks. Anyway, so the Doctor's caring for her, and she's complaining about back problems, and he's breaking it down really scientifically, and he's showing no compassion at all.
She just needs
something. While this is happening, Cass keeps giving him really dirty eyes.
Yeah. You gotta help this woman out. She's suffering here.
Yeah, be more sympathetic. Do your job, okay?
Right.
And he doesn't get this at all, right? She's even telling him, hey, give her a day off, right? so she can
Yeah.
rest for a little bit. And he's
Feet
like,
start swelling up.
no, there's no need. Okay, get back to work.
Oh God.
He's being a real hard ass.
To think at that point in time, you just grow a baby in a little petri dish and not have to go through all that.
So Cass is calling him out on this and giving him shit, right?
Right.
And he's just arguing because he don't give a damn.
Right.
So after she leaves, he's like, okay, I'll prove her wrong. And he programs into his holographic interface, whatever, that he's going to have some alien flu for 29 hours.
Okay. Oh, to see that
he can deal with it, no problem.
Oh, and still do his
and
job
he's going to have all
properly.
these symptoms, but they're fake, right?
Yeah. He should have programmed it to that he was pregnant. That would have made more sense.
Anyway, he's just going to do this to make all the crew look like they're wimps. Okay?
Right, and he doesn't do very well.
He doesn't do very well.
No.
It starts off with just some sneezing and coughing.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
It keeps
and
getting
he's never
worse.
had any illness because
Yeah.
he's a hologram.
Well, there was a time he felt pain.
There was a time when he shrunk right tiny.
That happened twice. Once he got compressed, and then one time he was like
But I guess it doesn't
4 inches
feel
tall.
anything. Anyway.
So it doesn't go on. It doesn't go well for him, but he's still doing it anyway, right? Just to prove
and
a point.
he's even grouchier.
Oh yeah, he's really bad at his job then.
Yeah.
Because then he's just a dick to everyone.
Good old Toby's.
So what happens is it gets to the end of the 29 hours.
Yeah.
And the symptoms still haven't gone away.
Oh no, he
So now
programmed
he's
it
freaking
wrong.
out. So he interrupts Captain Janeway in the middle of this emergency while she's trying to get the crewmen back from the surface. Oh, at one point she decides she's gonna land Voyager on the surface.
Oh, with the little feet again.
Yeah. Even though there's bad storms and they get caught in this giant cyclone.
They keep on putting the ship at risk,
And it's caught in this giant cyclone and it's gonna crash into the planet. It stops at the last minute, but don't worry about that. Doesn't matter. Anyway, the doctor interrupts the captain to complain that he's been sick and his program should have ended over an hour ago. So he's freaking out.
Right.
And so finally he comes clean, okay, and admits that, yeah, it's terrible. Because what happened was Cass apparently reprogrammed it so that it would last a couple hours longer. Because when he knew it was going to end, it made the experiment pointless.
Right.
But when he didn't know...
Yeah, that's the whole thing. Well, at least with pregnancy, you do know it will end at some point.
Anyway, he couldn't handle it that it might last a few more days.
Right.
So that was a funny story. Actually, it was really good.
It would have been way more funny if he would have programmed himself to be expecting at like 32 weeks or something. That's a missed opportunity there.
That could be a storyline for another season.
That's a total missed opportunity. He
No.
could have the belly on him and his feet would be swollen.
You could totally do that for the whole season, right? Start at the beginning, but
my feet grew like 2.5 sizes. I went from a size like 8.5 to 11.
do you think they would be that progressive that they would make this guy do that for a whole season?
No, but
Do you think Robert Picardo would do that for a
at
whole
least
season?
just for that episode, I think they missed that opportunity. That would have been hilarious.
That would have been hilarious. That's a good
See, they
idea.
shoulda
If
asked
anyone
me.
else has any good ideas about how they could have improved this rather boring
Had
episode,
a
except for the
science
doctor and Kess comedy duo there,
have tricorders that work.
let us know down in the comments below. You can always give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed these Chakotay's Odyssey episode. And that was another adventure for Chakotay's Odyssey featuring the adventures of Janeway. Now we're going to sign off. We got some comments there before we sign off. But how can people get in touch with us, Christine?
They can email us, CanadaMovieTVHosters@gmail.com.
Yeah, any suggestions for topics or entertainment news that you want us to know? How else can they find us on social media?
You can find us at Twitter, right? Still on Twitter.
Twitter and Instagram.
Exists at Canada
Hosers.
Hosers.
Yeah, we're both on those. And you can always use the hashtag if you want to get our attention on either of those.
Hashtag Canada Hosers.
Yeah, but no one's really watching this. And
I see your posts on Instagram.
Thank you.
I got addicted to Instagram.
Well, we got a couple comments from a couple people that were nice enough to watch our rambling.
Oh, that's good.
Stuart Key 6115 commented on our trailer reaction for Killers of the Flower Moon.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway,
I like the
Stuart
look of
Key
that
said
one.
yes. I was asking if people are excited. Okay. Stuart said yes. If it's DiCaprio, it will be great. He makes great movies.
That's what I was saying, too.
He's usually in good stuff.
I really enjoy most of his stuff, like a lot.
So hopefully this one's good too. Anyway, thanks for the comment there, Stuart Key. Next,
he picks the projects like he really is choosy.
Next we got one from Yash Sony 935. This was on our trailer review for Heart of Stone with Gal Gadot.
Oh, yes, where she hardly speaks.
Okay, so Yash Sony says, this movie, I don't know in foreign play well or not, but this movie definitely will huge hit in India because of Ali Bhatt and popular actress villain in this movie. I didn't know that at all because I didn't recognize any of the other cast. So if they're popular in other parts of the world, yeah. And producers play clever trick to sell movie in India. Now and then Hollywood is different. Then Hollywood, I hate Bollywood. Now Hollywood, how can make money with world's biggest population? That's why today many Hollywood producers cast Indian actors. Example, Sid, Old Gray Man, Love Again, Baywatch. Indian actor in Baywatch?
Maybe
the movie?
Maybe there's a new Baywatch.
I don't know.
I never watched Baywatch.
Triple X, Return of Xander Cage, that movie?
I don't know.
Nice trick. Okay, so if that's what's going on, then that is clever on them.
I just like... In our population here in Canada, we have a lot of people from India, so there's a lot of people that act, but I don't know.
So if they're casting big Bollywood actors and actresses,
I don't know enough about Bollywood. I know it's fun, but we don't get an opportunity to see much of Bollywood here.
Also, there's a lot of apparently there's a lot of Indian film industry that's not Bollywood as well. So if they're casting
I don't know enough about it.
Famous actors and actresses from over there, I don't have a problem with that at all. Thanks for your comment there, Yash Sony.
Well, yeah, if they're promoting it in India.
If it gets more,
that's a big population.
If it gets a movie to make more money, that's what they're in the business for. They're in the business of making money.
They're caring about other characters.
Okay. I don't know. Maybe I think she's really popular in the U.S. Okay.
I don't know.
Just because you don't like her doesn't mean she's not popular.
She looks fantastic.
Okay. Anyway, Dave sent us another message. Thanks, Dave, on our episode where I reviewed Transformers. You didn't want to see.
You guys saw it together.
He said really enjoyed Transformers. Yeah, he had a great time. We went to go see it together for an early fan screening.
I saw some little kids at the theater with Transformers, and they looked
like
they were having fun.
It was late at night, I remember, but there was still some younger kids there. Not too young, but...
Yeah, I saw some younger ones.
There was like 12, 13-year-old kids there.
Right.
They were having a good time. It was interesting, but it just wasn't for me, okay? But he had a great time, so excellent.
I'm not going to see it, because I definitely don't think it's for me.
Okay, but thanks for your message, Dave. I'm glad you enjoyed that Transformers movie. Are you going to go back and check out some of those other Transformers movies?
Watch Bumblebee. That one's really cute. I like that one.
See if you can make it through all 5 Michael Bay Transformers movies without giving up.
That's not Bumblebee.
I don't think I've seen all 5 of them.
No,
I've seen 4 of them and that was enough.
I saw one of them and that was enough. But I did like Bumblebee.
It was rough to get through.
It was a cute story that I remember.
That's all the comments we got on YouTube there.
That's
so
nice.
Thanks everyone for your comments. We're going to sign off because Fluffy Kitty is really tired today.
It's hot. It's been hot here and the cats are really minding it. Especially Penny. She's really hot, I think.
But it's winter in Australia.
Right. Doesn't get as cold.
So it could be chilly there.
Could be. Could be. But we're finally warm in Newfoundland.
Yeah.
This might be the only week.
Yeah, probably. And it's just going to rain next week.
Although we did get frost already this week. We had frost and then it was like... 28 degrees.
In June.
It always happened. 26 frost. This is the second year we've had frost on the 26th.
Hey, we're not here to talk about how crappy this part of the country is.
It's hard to garden here. Hard to garden. Anyway.
Take care, everyone. Thanks for tuning in.
Bye.